Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Photographer Life Check. I'm your host, Qurissy, and today I have my incredible photographer homie, Zay Monae. Hey, 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 hey. How are you, boo?
I am incredible. I
Yes.
am happy to be alive. I'm happy to be alive and well. I'll
Come
just say that.
on. That's beautiful. Oh my God, that puts me in even a better spirit right now, too. I like that.
Period. I'm happy
Okay,
to be here.
exactly. I'm so happy to have you here too. You're one of my favorite event photographers. I know you do a bunch of different styles of photography, which is what we're gonna get into. But I think you especially catch people so incredibly and so beautifully in their natural element, candidly. And I think it's absolutely incredible. But before we get into all of that, I want to start off with a little photographer fit check. For those who might be tuning in for the first time, photographer fit check is literally what it sounds like. We do a little fit check of how we like to come into our day, into our space, into set. So you could tell me about something that you're wearing um, that maybe you just love. It could be clothes, jewelry, hair, however you feeling.
Well, of course, I got to start out with my chain. I got to rep the motherland.
Ooh,
You know what I
come
mean?
on.
Um, so there's that. Then the Compton Cowboys t-shirts I got from
Come
First
on.
One. You know, so Compton right now is just like doing its thing. Thank you, Kendrick Lamar. Thank you, Compton Cowboys.
Truly.
Like, gotta represent LA. Um, and I got some jewelry from my friend Parusha, who's from South Africa. So got the bracelet on.
That's so
Do this
pretty.
too. So yeah.
That's beautiful. And you look absolutely stunning today. I love
Thank
I love the
you.
t-shirt.
Thank you
And you
so
said
much.
Forever 21, right?
Forever 21. I was just like, let me
Hey,
count this real quick.
I'm not gonna lie, they going out of business. Y'all better get y'all them discounts.
No, for real.
Photographer fit check for me. You can't see the full fit, but this is my uniform right now. This gray jogging suit. I got a couple of them. And I just can't stop wearing it. It's super comfy. I've been feeling real gray and not necessarily in a bad way, like a good gray, a real comfy, good gray.
Yeah,
So this,
cute and cozy. Like,
thank you. This been holding me down legitimately every day. I have worn these jogging suits. So shout out to the Gap.
and I love your hat too. It's so cute.
Oh, thank you. This is APC.
Thank you
Oh,
so
and his hair. Everybody been saying, "Oh, the Puerto Rican jumped out." So shout out to the fatherland for this hair, because I've always wanted to have like the curl with the like beanie hat combination, like growing up, even in adulthood. But my curls don't like lay down when they're dry; they
much.
go out. So no matter how long my hair has been, I couldn't maintain this look. But shout out to wigs, baby, because now she's here.
Period.
Exactly. So cool. Let's get into the photographer life check of the day. Photographer life check is essentially how you're feeling. It could be something pertaining to your career, just your day, a recent thing that you did, whatever that means to you.
Oh. Okay,
Okay,
starting off with the bang.
I like how it sound potentially.
I'm like, wait, hold on, because I've been watching Photographer Life Check, and I'm like, I should have been
Oh,
prepared for these type of questions, of course. Like, but I think that um, this year had like a crazy start for LA.
man,
I was just like, is this really how 2025 is starting off? Like, this is setting the tone. I was
bruh.
just like low key, no, high key worried. I was just like, especially when it came to business, it was just like it slowed down incredibly. And I was just like, oh, um, maybe
Like,
I
what's
should
going
just,
on?
apply to Subway real quick. Just
You know,
take it
get a
out.
regular job.
Because I was just like, I didn't really, know what to expect with, the fires happening. And then like, I didn't even want to go outside. A lot of people didn't want to go outside. A lot of people didn't even know what to do at the time. So, but now business has definitely picked up for me. So it's feeling a lot better.
That's
It's definitely
beautiful.
feeling a lot better. And also I've been trying to incorporate doing like more personal projects and getting myself in front of the camera a bit more too, because
Hey.
you know this is like an ongoing joke that I have like on my Instagram where I'll screenshot when people bro me up on in my DMs.
I've seen, yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know what it is. I think maybe because my name is Zay and they just automatically equate that to a dude or I don't
I
know,
don't
but
know. It
they
seems so
find in my
girly to me
DMs
though.
about like it was good, bro. Can you send me them photos that you took of? And I'm just like, you saw me took these photos of you. You used to call me, bro. So that's one of the things I
Also,
was
also, I think they don't really know how to interact with a woman if they're not flirting with a woman sometimes. So it's like it goes from either they're flirting and they're interested or they're just completely broing you. And it's like, I'm not your
Mhm.
bro.
Right. I'm just like, we gotta work our way up to bro. Cause I don't mind getting broed up by like my
By
homies.
my bro.
Yeah.
But you're not my bro.
I'm like, bro. So it was good. But
Exactly.
it's funny when I do correct people though, and I'm like, I'm actually a woman. They be like, oh my bad sis, my bad queen. It's like, all right,
There you go.
yeah. So that's
But no,
my
you not. I feel that you're not wrong. Like this year started off so weird here, and you're from South LA. Are you from Compton?
no. I'm originally from like South LA. Well, not too far from Compton. Like, it's hard to explain like that region because I moved around a bunch.
Okay.
But more so like South Central LA is where I'm from.
Okay. Yeah. So as a native, I'm sure that was even like weirder for you because what I recognized at first initially is most natives were like, oh no, this be happening, like it's chill. And then as it got worse, everybody was like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I'm sure, man, he was going through it like everybody else was.
yeah. Same thing like the earthquakes, which is like, oh, it's just a little earthquake, But nah, the fires is
Right.
this is taking a minute for them to go out. And,
Yeah.
a lot of us was just like, this is something we never really experienced before. So it was literally looking crazy, scary, spooky, not hilarious.
Not hilarious. We was not laughing.
Like, wow, it's extremely devastating, extremely devastating. I think
Yeah.
that was also a time, though, where a lot of people saw how LA community actually comes together in times
Which I loved.
you know.
Hmm.
So I thought that was beautiful, but outside of that, it's just like there's so much damage that came from that where it's just like we all know this is going to take a minute to recover from. But
For sure.
yeah, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
one thing
really
on the life check. It's just I feel like I'm starting to get back into the groove of like you know
mhm.
um, staying busy with shooting and stuff like that, and I'm excited for the summer for sure.
Me too. Speaking of shooting, let's hop right in to, like I mentioned earlier, the event photography. Like I said, it's so beautiful. I feel like you really embody like the feeling of the space you're in. Um, Especially some of my faves, which I did mention on Taylor Washington's episode. Shout out to Whaler Photo. That y'all two are my favorite event photographers, especially for Black Market Fleet. I think y'all capture people so well there. And I mean, the energy is already on a million. So people are giving you a lot to work with, but that doesn't take away from the talent. Like, not everybody shoots. Like, they have plenty of other photographers, and nobody shoots them like y'all. And so I think that's super special. And also, it's usually Black events that I at least see that you shoot. So I'm like, yes, like look at us. The way you capture us is just so beautiful, and I really love it. And I'm wondering, when you're in that space, when you're shooting events, there's like all of these different feelings happening. Where are you finding, assuming this is how you go into it, where are you finding like your quiet, your zen in order to navigate a room?
I love that question. It's so interesting because I feel like when I get into these spaces, wait, let me just go back a little bit because before I
Mhm.
even enter into this space, I like to pray and meditate
Oh my
before
god,
I
is this your routine?
yeah, yeah,
Yes, okay, take us through. I like this.
yeah. So when I'm like for instance, when I'm taking a shower, like getting ready for the day, like I'll be in the shower just like, praying, meditating and making sure like, I have that moment because it's kind of like me tapping into what I'm about to do for the day. And I
Mhm.
think that's something that has helped me with just like staying on track with just like following my spirit, following my heart when I'm, photographing. Sometimes it is a little difficult with just like having that zen, especially when there's like a long shot list, there's like music, and there's like so many different parts that are just moving in the event. And it can feel like, oh my gosh, like there's so much to do. But at the same time, when I take those moments to meditate, even throughout the event, that also helps me too.
Mhm.
Because I'm like, it can feel overwhelming at times because you want to leave with the most amazing photos at the end of the day. And it's
Right.
like, okay, these are going to be posted on somebody's page and like blasted out on through email or on their website or whatever. So it's just like, there's that pressure there that I'm just like, all right, I gotta be, in it to win it. And, I just have like this zone that I like lock into when I'm, shooting and like I have my camera in hand or whatever. I'm just like constantly moving. I don't really take breaks, which I need to get better about because I need to start eating and hydrating myself throughout the day. But
Yes.
yeah, I guess that's like one of the main things that helps me with like staying in my zen is meditation.
And I'm about to pull up some of your photos. For those who don't know, you can watch us on Spotify and YouTube so we can go over the work while we listen to them speak. Um, but I'm about to pull that up and I'm wondering if you could talk about maybe the feelings you're looking for then on the people that you're photographing while you're moving around.
Ooh, that's my website.
Yes, zaymonae.com, which all the links will be in the description box too.
I just love these photos so much. Shout out to it's the people. It's really the
Come
people that
on.
makes the images so energetic, so vibrant. Um,
Mhm.
I will say that some of the photos I do a bit of direction, um,
Okay.
just to get the feeling, capture a lot more of the feeling that I'm trying to like, you know, connect like my vision through uh I'm like trying to talk and like I'm like I love that part. I love that. My bad.
I
But
love that you gassing yourself like this too. Yes, as you should.
I remember every single shot. So for instance, like the two girls with their arms up, it's like, that's also a moment where I'm like, I told them to, show me your muscles. And they lifted up their arms like that.
Oh,
And you know, it's like also through the color grading too, that helps with like bringing out the feeling and the energy too that I
yeah.
do, where I have to like increase the saturation and vibrancy and the temperature just so that it can really, captivate what I was also feeling and seeing in that moment too.
Yeah. To make it really look how it feels.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so funny because it's like sometimes I'll come across someone who I think is like beautiful, striking, or whatever, and I'll be like,
Mhm.
"Hey, can I take your photo?" And they'll be like, "Oh, I'm not really good with photos and this and that." Like, be shy, but then I end up taking like one of the most amazing photos of them. You know,
Every time.
I'm just like, it's something that she was like trying to hide from me, huh?
You
Okay, yeah,
know,
we gotta get that out.
yeah, I never let it slide when I'm with people. Like, if you say, "Oh, I'm not good at photos. I don't know how to take photos," blah blah blah. I'm like, "Nah, you're great at it. Come on, like let's do this because
Yeah,
it's not true. You're judging yourself. Stop judging yourself." Especially an event with energy like this, like people are dancing, chilling, eating, drinking, like there's so many different things to capture.
yeah.
Um, do you typically have a shot list from these types of events you work on, or are you just like, do you have the creative freedom to just flow?
Originally, when I first started shooting, okay, let me just backtrack. Um,
Yeah.
because with Black Market for this, like that's such a special like um work relationship that I have with them.
Oh, nice.
Because the first time I ever stepped foot in Black Market Fleet, I went with the intention of like going with my camera, taking a couple shots, like, just casually just seeing what the vibes were. And so I went, took a couple photos, and then ended up posting them on Instagram. And they saw my photos and they slid in my DMs and was like, "We love these images. We want you
Nice.
part of our media team." I was just like, "Wait,
There you go. Come on.
really?" Like, um, and so the second time I pulled up to Black Market Free, like that's when they actually hired me for the first time. And they had sent me a shot list, but it wasn't like super extensive where it felt like overwhelming.
Hmm.
And I still felt like I had like this creative freedom to still capture the type of images that I previously captured, but more along the lines of like being more specific as to what they exactly wanted this time.
Hmm.
But typically I do have a shot list. Even if somebody doesn't give me a shot list, there's like specific things that I think that everybody that is doing event photography should make sure that they have. Like for instance, if you're doing an event like or like maybe even like a birthday party, right? You want to make sure that you capture like shots of the birthday cake, um, of course, the birthday girl, boy, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, you want to capture some wide shots, some intimate shots, different things like that. Those are things that I like to like make sure that I have. But yeah, Ebenezer Club right there.
These I absolutely love. Like the way you get into a moment is so spectacular and it makes, the viewer, especially if you weren't there, really feel like you're there. And I
Yeah.
think that's like an incredible talent that you have. And I'm wondering, it makes me think about this idea, at least when I first learned about event photography, the way they teach you or taught me, speaking for myself, was like you kind of want to disappear. You want to feel like a fly on the wall. You want to be stealthy. Some of the best photographs you'll get is when people don't know they're being photographed,
Mhm,
which that last part I believe in a little bit, where it's like some of the best shots are candid shots.
mhm,
But at the places that you shoot, and I think some of your best work as a consumer of your work, it seems like those spaces want you to also be seen. And I kind of love that. I love that, like that transference. Also realizing the spaces that I was occupying at the time were like these very white corporate kind of events. So they're like, nobody wants to know you're here, sis,
mhm,
versus oppositely like these very vibrant amazing spaces to be in, like people kind of want to see you there. Do you get
mhm.
that energy? Is that how you were taught?
Yeah, I feel like um, with doing event photography, it's like you never want to ruin a moment or like, insert yourself in such a way where it kind of like breaks up the energy of like what's happening at a party or an event, which is why I
Mm-hmm.
feel like a lot of photographers shoot with like a zoom lens from afar and like try to, capture moments at a distance. But for me, like I shoot with my fisheye a lot, which is 11 millimeters, which is like I can't shoot from a distance and get like intimate shots. I have to be up in your grill. And,
Right.
you know, part of that has to do with wanting to actually connect with people and actually wanting them to know like you're seen. I want you to know like you're a moment right now. And I want them to also feel comfortable with me having my camera and capturing them too. So I think that with me having that fisheye lens, it kind of like it forces me to like have to connect with the person and have to like without saying get their consent with me photographing them because it's like I'm like all up in your grill. So it's just like, you see this camera? Okay. You
Right.
smiling? Good? You good? Okay, you good. So
Since
yeah,
that's already part of your practice, do you feel or do you practice street photography?
I do. Yeah.
So it seems like you might be on the spectrum of like you can just walk up and take the shot pretty easily, like you feel confident when you're doing street
Yeah,
photography.
definitely.
Oh, that's so impressive,
Yeah.
girl. That's so impressive.
It's really a feeling though. It's like if you could really read the room and you can read and feel when somebody is like wanting a photo sometimes. You know what I mean? Like when they're dressed to the nines and looking like really good, they're feeling good. You could just feel their energy, and it's like you know that they want their photo taken. They're
Mhm.
waiting for that moment. You know, a lot of people, especially at Black Marketplace, like they dress up so so beautifully because they don't they don't fear being seen, and it's like you could feel that. You know, of
Mm.
course, a lot of times I ask for consent, but there's some moments where it's just like I'll just take the picture and then ask for consent later.
Yeah. That's the I feel like the thing we weigh as photographers, particularly street or event photographers,
Mhm,
where I guess at an event though, most people are expecting to be photographed,
mhm,
especially now. But on
mhm.
the street, it is that thing to weigh, where it's like, if I take this photo, I hope you react well.
Right.
Can you talk to us a little bit about some of these events? One thing I loved, I think it was the Hispanic Heritage one.
Mhm,
Yeah, it seems like you potentially choose or at least are hired because of your previous work on a lot of cultural moments, like things that are very important to people because of who they are.
mhm.
And I think that's really fascinating and beautiful. Was that on purpose?
I think that uh, it is on purpose. I think that a lot of what I shoot has a lot to do with who I am and a
Mhm,
reflection of like my background. Like something that people don't know, which I'm really gonna do better about this year, is showcasing my Mexican heritage. So that's part of
mhm,
why I wanted to make sure, like, for instance, the Hispanic Heritage Festival is something that I, highlight in my portfolio because it's just as important as me highlighting the Black community too.
mhm,
And I think that what's also important is that um, with me highlighting my Hispanic heritage, it kind of breaks down this idea of what a Mexican looks like or a Black and Mexican looks like.
mhm.
And because I feel like I spent my life like fighting for my life when it came to identifying who I was or trying to prove myself to people. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, I am who I am. I ain't got to prove to nobody.
Okay.
But I like that my work speaks for itself and is a representation of who I am. And
Yeah.
a lot of my work has been aligning with, things that I already want to shoot and showcase. So I just love that I get paid to do it at the same time.
Okay. That's the best part. Do you want to talk a little bit more about your Mexican heritage then? I think being from a city like LA, there's hella black people and there's hella Mexicans. So on one hand, I'm not surprised that people might react to you in a way like, "What? You're this or what? You're that?" on either side of that spectrum. But considering the context of LA, it is a little surprising because it's like there has to be hella black Mexican people out here. Like,
Yeah, so on my mom's side, they're from Sonora, Mexico,
mhm,
and that side is something that growing up I didn't really, I guess, express out loud to people because I was afraid of being rejected, which I had been rejected even from like other family members that are
mm,
Mexican, where they're like, "You're not Mexican enough. You don't look,
mm.
Mexican." Or, but I speak Spanish. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the most perfect Spanish, but at the end of the day, I still speak Spanish. You know what I mean? I know
Yeah.
how to get around with my Spanish. Like, I go to Mexico frequently. I was even in Costa Rica speaking Spanish, getting like I be doing my thing, and people don't know that about
Yeah.
me. But yeah, as far as just like like feeling accepted by like the Mexican community, like that was something that I had struggled with growing up. But there's some people that just don't accept black people, period.
Yeah.
And, that's what it is. But there's a large portion of Mexicans that do accept Black people and don't have a problem with them or whatever. But at the same time, I think like one of the main things that I had to do for myself is just get over whatever um, thoughts or stereotypes anybody had in regards to me, because I'm like, at the end of the day, I don't care. Like, y'all not paying my bills.
Okay.
um I think that was like one of the biggest things I had to like get over was like just being accepting of my identity and not caring about having like long straight hair and like lighter skin or whatever to look or fit this like box.
Yeah. And speaking of Costa Rica, I definitely be seeing you on TikTok. I'll be like, I need to go surf with my girl in Costa Rica.
Come on, yes, I
I
miss it.
love it. So, do you still have family? And I don't remember the city you said, Sonora.
So no, yeah.
Do you still
Um,
have family there?
I haven't even visited Sonora yet.
Oh, okay.
Um, so that's something I have on my bucket list is to visit Sonora, um, meet some family, and just make it a whole like vlog experience and like document my family, document like the city and the whole state pretty much. And yeah, just really have like a real like, coming home type of moment for myself.
Yeah. That'd be beautiful. So then oppositely on your dad's side, are they from the States or are they from LA specifically?
Oh yeah. My dad's side from Gary, Indiana.
Oh, my Midwest cousins. How
From
y'all
Gary,
doing?
yeah, from Gary, Indiana, plus Hammond, Indiana. So
Mm.
real Midwesterns over there. Um, yeah, and then also have like some roots in Louisiana. So that's
Ooh.
somewhere I want to visit. I've never been to Louisiana. So one of these days, I want to be out there and doing my thing, eating some
Yes.
mayonnaise and all that good stuff.
I love it. Also, I really appreciate always learning about like the different places people come from and like where their roots really are. So, thank you for being vulnerable with us and sharing.
Thank you for even like asking these questions. I'm like, people really don't be knowing. And, I think I love this platform too because I'm able to just give my real raw vulnerable self, and also people are able to learn about me plus my work too.
Yeah.
which is like a beautiful combination. So I really appreciate you and your questions.
Hey, thank you for that. And I was loving when you said, I be watching Photographer Life Check. Oh my God, she be watching the pod.
I do. I always love your questions too. I'm just like, that's a good question.
Hey, thank you. I really appreciate that because that's one of my favorite parts about doing this series, is doing the research on the photographers. I think everyone except for one person I've interviewed so far, I've either like known them in some capacity, either like we've met a couple times, we was cool, or we're like actually great friends. But in doing this research, I learned so much about y'all, and it encourages me to just create like the best questions I can. And so I really appreciate that you said that if anybody says like, damn, this is a good question, I'll be like, yes.
Yeah.
But let's get back to some more of your work because speaking of Costa Rica, you went out there and shot your 85 mil series out there, right?
Yes.
So
Hmm.
I'm gonna pull up the 85 mil series. Can you tell us a little bit about it, why you started it, and all the places you've taken it? Because that's what we're about to see.
Yes. Okay, so for those that don't know, the 85 Mil series is a portrait series that I started, where I drive to the homes of people around Los Angeles and photograph them in 5 to 10 minutes just to photograph their essence and just to connect with them and showcase who they are. I originally started this series at a time where I was like depressed and
Mm,
I was feeling like I was needing to be reconnected with community in some sort of way. So I was just like, let me try to utilize my camera to accomplish this. 85 Mil series is very simple. Like, I like to do things very simply. Like, I don't like to, be too technical about it. Like, the 85
mhm.
Mil series is exactly what it is. I'm using 85 millimeter lens. And that's it.
There you go.
And no additional lighting, just natural light.
So
um
good.
and not only do I like drive to the homes of people, um sometimes I just have my camera on me and I'm just walking up to like random people and photographing them. um the idea is something that uh I was inspired by my mom, who she has a nonprofit, and she would pull up on the unhoused community and feed them lunch. And
Oh, incredible.
she would make them like chili and tacos and she would drop off these plates to people that are unhoused.
That's so nice. What's their name?
It's called the Real Foundation.
Shout out to the real. That's beautiful work.
Yeah. So I remember one time I went with her to pass out the lunches and I had my camera with me and I was able to like pull up on people and photograph them and hear their stories. And that was how the idea, my first introduction to pulling up on people and wanting to like capture their story started.
Mm.
Um, so that was like some years ago. Um, and then now the 85 Mil series has expanded to North Carolina. Um,
Okay. You done
um,
took this everywhere.
yeah, so the Durack Festival, which is a festival that is centered around Durags, that happens in Charlotte, North Carolina, once a year. They had hired me to photograph some individuals at their festival. And that was the first time I ever got flown out for my work.
Hey, come on, get flued out. I
Yeah, I was
love
like,
to
y'all
see it.
flying me out. This is
They're like,
new.
ooh.
This is new. It was such a beautiful experience. I will say, like, I was a bit nervous because I had never been to North Carolina. I had,
Mm,
you know, never heard of Durag Festival. So it was like I was stepping into new territory,
Yeah.
which
And had
also,
you traveled by yourself before that?
oh yeah, yeah,
Okay, cool.
but it had never been for work. So it was
Mm.
like I also had that pressure of like, all right, they find me out, so it's like it's either do or die.
Okay, you gotta do your biggest one.
I'm like, I'm leaving with something, and it has to be
Okay.
important. But the photos came out amazingly, and I'm so proud of them. And
No,
one of
they
my
really
photos
did.
from Durag Festival has actually like gone viral. I've
That's
been
why I just
commented
went
on it.
back because I was
Yeah,
looking for it. This
yeah,
one.
that one right there.
Yeah, it made me so happy. In general, like I saw it going viral and I'm like, oh yeah, that's my girl. Like, shout out to my girl. She shot that. But then my sister, who's still lives in Chicago, she hit me like, oh, should I do this hairstyle? And I was like, oh my God, my girl took that photo. It made me so happy to see like how far and wide your photos have gone.
Yeah, yeah. That's like one of the first photos of mine that has like been going viral. So
Really?
yeah, it's really cool. Um,
Yeah.
I you know I hate to say this though, because I'm just like it's not that I don't appreciate my work going viral, but I think that I have some hesitation behind it because I think when it comes to Black women photographers specifically,
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that sometimes what happens is that our our name gets separated from our work a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times. Where if you go up to a random person and be like, "Can you name black five black women photographers off the top of your head?" I'll wait. And it's like
Right.
the likelihood of them being able to name at least three, you know what I mean? Like is I can't say that I have the confidence that a lot of people know a lot of Black women photographers. So so when I see my work going viral and my name is not attached to it, it's kind of like it's cool, but at the same time, like, where's my name? And I know
Right.
that there's nothing I can really do about that, especially sometimes people just don't care. They see a cool photo and they're like, this is amazing. Let me just repost it. Let me just reshare it. Whatever.
Screenshot it. Yeah.
Yeah, screenshot it. Put my own filter on it and all this stuff.
Oh, that
It's like
I hate
you
that so
know.
bad.
But I will say, like, I do appreciate people appreciating and loving the work. But I just hope that people you know really do a better job about crediting artists and their work.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one of my favorite things about being a part of the Black Women Photographers Collective and doing this podcast. I think like the average person definitely couldn't name five Black women photographers. But even people within this industry don't know how many of us exist, and it's not for lack of numbers. There's hella incredibly talented Black women photographers literally all over the world. But even if we just talk about the States, like
Mhm,
I mean, obviously I'm biased, but knowing that I can name so many in multiple different cities, and we have photo editors, directors,
mhm,
producers that can only name one or not at all, or are the ones who are supposed to know these people, but they're reaching out to people like me and you to be like, hey, do you know so and so in this city? Like, can you link me with this kind of photographer in that city? But it's like, you're the director, you're the producer, you're supposed to be boots on the ground about it and know that these women are in our community that are super talented and can photograph your event, your onset stills, your portraits, your editorials, stuff like that.
mhm,
Um, so I completely agree and resonate with you because that is the downside of virality sometimes,
mhm,
where the photographer's name almost immediately gets removed. And what I see a lot is that the community around that photographer has to be like, hey, that's so and so, like add their tag at them, like this is their work, which is beautiful to see because it's incredible to know that you've created such an incredible community around you that wants to see you win. But it's also a little disappointing when you know you have some work out there and you know you potentially could get hired off of that and nobody knows it's you.
Yeah, yeah. Or somebody's just like printing out your photo and now it's like, you know, part of their wall art in their bedroom or whatever.
Right.
Okay, what's new? Turn up there.
You took this to Walgreens photo and printed out my shot. It's real life crazy.
Right.
I really do love this series though, this 85 mil. I think it's hella brave also for you to just link up with a bunch of random people. I imagine though you have a certain sense of safety being in your own city, but you taking this to Costa Rica and Charlotte and Detroit, like how are you navigating shooting lots of people when you're in a new city like that? Is that even something that you worried about? Because that could just be me.
Well, when it comes to being in new spaces, and one of your episodes with Dakota, um, where
Hey,
she
Dakota.
mentioned she was talking about when she travels and um, like being a part of the community first. It just taking a moment to like breathe with the community, be with the community, and just feel it out first before you start
Mm-hmm.
like pulling up to people and start photographing them. I think that makes a difference in the way the photos come out, anyways. Um, like for instance, with Costa Rica, like I've been to Costa Rica a few times
Mm-hmm.
since 2014, and I studied abroad in Costa Rica. So I have friends and built like connections out there already. So it's already familiar for me out there. Uh,
Nice. Okay.
so pulling up on people in Puerto Viejo or Limon, like that was easy. Uh,
Mm.
and it also the cool thing about pulling up on people in Costa Rica was being able to utilize my Spanish, which
Yeah.
is nice. But it's also like I specifically wanted to make sure I captured. Um, sorry about the dog. I
It's okay.
specifically wanted to make sure I photographed Black people out
Mm-hmm.
there, so that people are aware as to like what people look like out there, and it's not
Yeah.
this one you know I guess look that people might assume it would be. So
Yeah. I was
yeah.
wondering if Costa Rica was a special place to you because I think just from a conversation we had before, you told me you've been a couple times. And so
Mhm.
then when I seen it again, I really want to go. It's at the top of my list. I've never been. And
Really?
when I started surfing, hella the girls was like, oh my God, like surfing in Costa Rica is the thing to do. So it just prioritized it even more in my brain and seeing you out there shooting and surfing and just like having a good time. I was like, damn, like I'm so inspired. It's so good to see you in this space doing that. Um, so when you
Yeah.
studied abroad out there, how long was that? And do you have like, were you the type of study abroad where it's like, oh, I have my family, so that's how you were able to meet more locals?
Well, so I studied abroad for a semester in 2014, and I did stay with the host family,
Nice.
and that was amazing because my host mom, she made breakfast, lunch, and dinner
Oh,
every
come
single
on.
day. I was just
Yes.
like, I don't know how I feel. Like I wasn't used to that type of treatment, but it was like she loved doing that for me, and she was like she would feel bad if I didn't eat. I'm just like,
That's
you just
beautiful.
fed me, like, I'm full still." And, you know, Costa Rica is one of the safest countries in the world, especially for Black women to travel.
Mm,
Um, of course, there's, like, some sketch areas, but I felt very safe walking around. I did a lot of walking. Um, and through that first semester of like me being in Costa Rica and like making new friends and stuff like that, like that really made me feel way more comfortable with traveling by myself. Like the next time I went back to Costa Rica. Um, and I still have my friends from that 2014 like first trip.
That's
And
awesome.
it's so funny because you know, actually I'm not gonna say the story because I'm like actually yeah, there's people watching that's
Okay, it was given tea. It's cool. It's cool.
maybe I'll write a book. Maybe I'll write a little book or
There
something.
you go. Costa Rica excursions.
You feel me?
What's the slogan in Costa Rica again?
Pura vida.
Yeah, that's got to be the name of your book.
Yeah, literally. And I was
But
living
we
it up.
mentioned. Oh, what you say?
I was living it up. I was
Mm, I love that for you, sis. Speaking of which, we talk about how many places you've taken 85 mil. Have you ever thought about turning it into like a tour in itself where you can just like bounce around in different cities or even countries? Um, is that is that idea? Is that in the works? Could that be a possibility for you? Or are you like, nah, I like how it is?
I definitely want to expand it to other places. I specifically wanted to go to New Orleans next.
Mm-hmm.
I want to spend at least 3 months out there. Um, I definitely need the money to do that. So that's something that I've been trying to figure out how to do um, in the best way, where I'm just like, I'm able to just be gone for 3 months and all I have to do is just focus on 85 mil and documenting the community in New Orleans. Um, there's other places I wanted to go to that specifically, um, that are on my list, but I'm just like, I need money for that.
Okay.
To
That's
say,
what I'm always thinking about. Like, can somebody please hire me in this city so that I can go explore the city?
yeah, yeah. I'm like, I could do it out of pocket, but I'm just like, I want somebody else to pay for this.
You know, that
Yeah.
would make this way easier.
Yeah. I know it's possible, especially with me already going to Charlotte for Durag Festival. So I'm just like, I know
Exactly.
that there's money out there. I just have to find it, connect
There
with
you
the right
go.
people.
And let it
Um,
find
yeah,
you.
I'm really optimistic. I know it's gonna happen. It's meant to happen anyway. So
Exactly. Let's get into some more of your portraits. I'm about to share again. I think you're also an incredible portrait photographer. You're super versatile. Zay also does
oh,
products, events, like she do it all. What do you need to get done? It's gonna get
oh,
done.
thank
And
you.
that's one thing I love about you. I think when I first started, everybody was like niche, niche, niche. Like you need to pick one and like go down that road. And I think in general, personally, I'm a gal that likes a lot of different things. I want to
Mhm,
try a lot of different things. I want to see a lot of different things. And so when I see other photographers specifically have like, yeah, maybe this is the thing I'm known for, but I do seven different other types of genres of photography. I'm like, yes, my
yeah,
people. Like I see y'all.
mhm.
So I want to talk about, do you approach these different styles differently? Like, are you in a different headspace because this is portrait work?
Mm, yeah, sometimes. I mean, when it comes to doing portrait work, I feel like I have to be a lot more, I guess, prepared. Is a better word because it's like I don't want to just go into it like, all right, let's see what we could do real quick.
Yeah.
Like I try to have like inspiration or like a mood board or something going into
Mm.
portrait shoot. Like have posing examples and um, yeah. So the approach is a little bit different with my portraits. as far as trying to bring out certain energy, I have the same script low key when it comes to,
Hmm.
getting somebody to open up. Um, when it comes to like event photography, this trick that I like to do to make the photos seem a lot more lively is I'll say, can you do a little laugh for me? Can you,
That's cute, yeah.
and then they'll start laughing. And it might sound like forced in the beginning, and then they'll start hearing themselves laugh or feel like weird or awkward. Then they start genuinely laughing. And it's like, okay, got you. That's how we get the shot.
Yeah. That's cool. So you're typically the type of person that asks a lot of questions and like to direct.
Yeah. hmm
In that way, do you think you'll ever go to motion? Or do you do motion already and I just ain't know?
I'm trying to get better at doing more motion, and I need to. I need to step it up. And yeah, because something that I do want to do is do some documentary work,
Mhm.
especially in South LA. There's this idea that I have that I would love to collaborate with a couple artists in the future, but I'm still getting the details together for that. But definitely want a documentary soon. And
Mm.
that's my
I love
song.
that.
I'm like, I think you referred her to me, and that's how I got this book in.
Oh, okay. I'm like, she looks so familiar.
Well, thank you for that.
I photographed her before. Come on. Love this. See, community. Yes. Okay, beautiful. This feels like a good place to take a break, so we'll be right back. Today's episode is brought to you by Art House, the first Black owned film lab in the city of Los Angeles. All my photography homies love Art House because they specialize in C41, black and white, E6, and ECN2 processing for both 35 millimeter and medium format film, all while using a custom all while using a custom built cinema scanner to get you those stunning movie quality stills. So go pick up or drop off a roll at their new location in Chinatown. So go pick up or drop off a roll at their new location in so go pick up and drop off a roll at their new location in Chinatown and check them out at arthousefilmlab.com or arthousefilmlab on IG and tell them we sent you. Okay. And we're back. This part of the podcast is always one of my favorite. These kind of go a little fast. So this first segment is called Photographs Not Taken. One of my favorite segments because it's essentially just your idea of your favorite photograph that you never got to take, your interpretation of that. And I named it that based off this book, Photographs Not Taken, where it's a collection of essays from photographers and them describing their favorite photograph that they never took. So if you would like, you can start. What's your favorite photograph you wish you took?
There's so many, and
Girl.
oh my gosh, there's just so many. Especially like you just see so much beauty on a day to day basis, and a lot of things that other people can't see that you see.
Hmm.
It's like, where's my camera at?
Man.
But I really believe that not every moment is meant to be captured on camera. Some are just meant to just be a memory for you. Um, and I think about me as a kid where I wish I had like some moments photographed of myself. Not to make this moment vain or whatever, but I'm just like,
No.
just to see like the innocence or like the joy of like me as a child. Um, or certain memories or moments that I wish was captured of myself.
Yeah.
Um, just so I can remind myself as to like how far I've come and like, you know, the real root as to why I even shoot in the first place, as
Come
to
on.
why I'm even a creative in the first place. But yeah, I would say that. I mean, I really don't want to make it vain. I'm just like sometimes.
Honestly, girl, no, I don't think it's vain. I think about that too. I think it's honestly like a self-love thing. Like me wanting to see myself at every age. I don't think I have a photo of myself from every age, but I wish I did. I want to see how I look like on a mundane day and not just because it's Easter or Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was we looking like when we was just chilling on the couch watching TV or something?
Mhm,
Um, or, think about those days where you like, no, I don't want to take a photo. Like, I wish I had a photo of that day though.
mhm,
So
mhm.
I don't think it's bad. I think you should be able to see. That's my goal. I want to be able to see myself like every year of my life in all types of ways, doing all types of things.
Yeah, yeah, especially because I'm like, time is not stopping. You're
Okay.
not getting any younger, so it's like to have, documentation of yourself at every version of yourself. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So to be able to look at certain moments of myself as a kid that were like even pivotal moments, or even moments of me like, because I was a very active kid. Like I was
Mhm.
hopping over fences and like,
Oh, we was the
playing
same kid. Come on. I was outside.
outside, getting that summer tan and, riding bikes all day and night. And it's like,
Mhm.
you know, was I felt like that was when I was the most free. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it's like to be able to see myself at that time and that version of myself, it's like I want to constantly achieve that feeling. I want to achieve that, you know, that era of my life because I don't ever want that to die. So it's like
Yeah.
to be able to see that version of myself in different like moments, like that would be something I would appreciate, honestly. So
Oh my God, that would be so beautiful.
I was out here in these streets. I was an active
Oh,
young kid.
girl. You know, a couple of years ago, I really started documenting myself in that way because it really dawned on me like how much footage I don't have of myself. And I completely agree. Like I was sitting with myself a lot and just thinking about like when I was a kid, I broke my ankle. I don't know, I think that was like 6th grade. And even that didn't keep me from being outside. I was hopping fences with a broken ankle. I don't even think my parents know that. So if y'all listen to this episode, like I was wilding with this broken ankle. But I was, like you said, I was just a very active kid. And those are some of the moments I wish were more than memories. Because one thing about me, I really struggle with the fact that like one day all we can rely on is a memory of some things because memory is just unreliable. Like, what happens if you get Alzheimer's, dementia, or just as you age, you naturally will forget that random day when you were 7, type of thing.
Yeah.
So I want so badly to have more of those little moments documented, which encouraged me a couple years ago to just start doing it myself that I'm so, so grateful for. But it is completely rooted in that freedom to me too. Whereas like as a tomboy, as a girl outside every day, I wanted to play sports. I played sports all of my childhood, well until I was about like 18 or 19. And now if you ask me what I want to do, I want to have field days with my friends. I want to go outside and play
Yeah.
kickball right now. Like what y'all
Yeah.
on? Let's go outside. So I really appreciate that that's the perspective you have for the photograph not taken. I was also a little worried because I didn't prepare. I have a bunch in my head, but I usually like pick one before an
Mhm.
episode to be like, that's the one I'm gonna say today. And I didn't do that. But I think I'm just gonna be on the same wave as you and say I wish or the photograph I wish I had took was like my friends in those days too. Like I wish I just had that disposable or like the little Olympus on me back
Yeah.
then. So we
Can
got
you
to see.
imagine? Can you imagine
Girl,
just like y'all say cheese?
right? Like it would have been so cool. All right, beautiful. Let's get into the gear don't matter. But I love this segment because everybody thinks the camera is the most important thing to the photographer. And in some ways that is true, but they're always asking, what kind of camera you use? What kind of camera you use? Because they think the camera is taking the shot, but it's not. It's us.
Mhm.
But out of respect for the gear that we use, I wanted to do this segment to shine a light on some of our favorite things to use. So I'm curious, what's your favorite piece of equipment? It doesn't have to be a camera, but if it is, that's okay too.
I mean, I'm just gonna say 85 millimeter lens.
Come on.
It's only right, you know.
Should have been
85.
obvious.
Yeah, come on, 85 millimeters. That lens is just so spectacular. I just
Truly.
love the depth of field, just the richness and the way my photos come out. I mean, part of it is me, like, it's the artist. But at
Yeah.
the same time, the way that uh, the 85 mil captures intimacy or just the eyes
Mm-hmm.
is something that I really love. Um, and I also started doing like a little bit of video too on the 85 millimeter. And
Ooh.
I like this too. This is
Mm.
nice. Um, yeah, the 85 millimeter for sure is like my number one.
Love it. Do love an 85. All right, let's get into the shoot your shot. We want to know who is somebody, okay, or a company that you would love to photograph.
Afro punk,
Oh, yes. Oh, I can see it.
Afro punk.
Afro
Come
Punk, get on the line. What are y'all doing?
I already sent them some emails and I hope that they see it one of these days. I'm going to have to follow up and do some more following up and some tagging and all this stuff. But Afropunk, I think that is something that needs to happen with my 85 millimeter series. Like, come on, this is like only right.
Come on.
And it
That would
makes
be
sense.
so spectacular.
Yeah.
It would be perfect. So, all the girls at Afro Punk, get Zay Monae in that inbox right now. I know y'all see that email. Hit her up now.
Now.
Zay, thank you so much for coming and joining us today. This has been so beautiful. I really appreciate you being here
I
with us
appreciate
and
you.
taking us through all of your series and your work. It's been beautiful.
Thank you so much for having me. This was amazing. I love this platform. Thank you so much for being such a beautiful host, asking beautiful questions, and letting me just speak my truth. I really appreciate it.
That's so awesome. Can you let the people know where they can find you?
Y'all can find me at Zay Monae, ZayMonae, on Instagram. We got Threads. We
Come on,
got
Threads.
TikTok. We
Yes.
got, what else we got? I
We
think
got
that's
the
it.
website.
We
Hit
got
that booking
Instagram,
link on
Threads,
that
TikTok.
website.
Oh yeah, my website, www.zaymonae.com.
There you go. Beautiful. And you can find Photographer Life Check everywhere you get your podcasts. And you can watch us specifically on Spotify and YouTube. So make sure y'all go hit subscribe everywhere. Follow us, rate us 5 stars. That's so important. It truly helps the podcast out more than you know. And we'll see you next time. Peace, y'all.